assessing Peter Costello's give and take budget. The big wet continues. And Illawarra researchers on the brink of a cancer breakthrough.
News Late Edition with Geoff Phillips.
Good evening. Treasurer Peter Costello's 8th budget has, as expected, focused on defence, security, health and higher education. In brief, the Treasurer has managed one surprise in the form of modest tax cuts. At a cost of $2.4 billion, taxpayers will save between $3 and $11 a week. University reform will cost $1.5 billion and could see fees rise by up to 30%. There's $4 million to upgrade the controversial Main Road 92 and more money for the redevelopment of Nowra's HMAS Albatross and Edent's Naval Ammunitions Facility. The budget has met with a mostly unenthusiastic reception in the Illawarra and South Coast, with many claiming the region has again missed out.
The budget wash-up and Wollongong MPs say their worst fears have been realised.
We've seen miserly tax cuts of just $4 per week for the average family, and that's going to be offset by increased costs for education, health, and university fees are going up.
There's nothing for our regional university, there's nothing for our highway, and there's nothing for the unemployed people.
Government MPs talking up the positives.
Sensible people will welcome any sort of a tax relief.
Well, I think there's something like $740 million nationally for assistance with the drought over the next couple of years.
But there's fears the region's largest employer has been shortchanged.
Wollongong has received a fairly poor deal from the federal government in the area of university funding.
Not qualifying for a $123 million boost for regional universities, Wollongong could be left behind its metropolitan counterparts with the new ability to raise fees by 30%.
These reforms will free up universities and allow them to build on their strengths.
Concerns too, higher costs will see student numbers drop.
The university is such a strong part of our local community, and its growth has a positive effect on our growth.
Previously announced Medicare changes are tipped to see doctors' fees rise. The Shoalhaven will benefit from increased defence spending, the extension of the ethanol bounty and $4 million for Main Road 92. But
the federal government is not giving money at this stage to the Princes Highway because, bear in mind, the Princes Highway is a state responsibility.
Digesting the budget, Illawarra business leaders unexcited.
Not a lot in this budget for business in terms of new initiatives, but what is in there for business is responsible economic management.
Tax cuts dismissed as merely covering bracket creep.
Self-funded retirees and the low income will be slightly better off, but really it is small beer.
While the Treasurer has denied it's an election budget, the sweetness of fuel speculation, the government could go to the polls early. The opposition will be hoping to regain ground with its budget reply tomorrow. Jane Azapati, Win News.
Meanwhile, the Illawarra Shire Council has released its draft management plan for the next 5 years, including council's draft fees and charges for the looming new financial year. The plan includes a 10% rate increase for infrastructure funding. Emergency services are warning Illawarra residents to prepare for more heavy rain and gusty winds over the next 36 hours. More than 150 millimetres of rain have fallen in Wollongong alone since Monday night.
The big wet has resulted in low-level flooding in some sections of the region. The rain making driving conditions hazardous. Lawrence Hargrave Drive, which has been closed since 9:20 yesterday morning, the subject of rockfalls, even though some motorists are ignoring RTA signs. Adding to the problem, vandals have destroyed safety rain gauges. Also kept busy the army of SES volunteers. Flooding and fallen trees, their main workload over the past 20.
More problems tonight concerning phone towers, with Kangaroo Valley residents upset over the construction of a 25-metre tower in their rural setting. Their concerns have been further highlighted with news of a second, taller television emergency services tower to also be located on the same site.
The new Telstra tower, disguised as a windmill, sticks out like a sore thumb. Residents not opposing it based on 4 promises.
Firstly, that it wouldn't be visible from the road. Secondly, that it would be disguised as a windmill. Thirdly, that it would be painted green. And fourthly, that it would be screened by landscaping.
I think it's a joke. I think if you're going to have a radio tower, then there's nothing wrong with the radio tower looking like a radio tower instead of something that's half-baked.
Adding to local concerns, plans for an adjacent TV tower housing emergency services communications. Claims now councillors push through the second tower because of government funding, and even emergency service representatives have doubts about the suitability of that site.
Both of them volunteered, with no prompting from me, their views that in that particular location the tower wouldn't improve their reception at all.
You stick it up on top of the surge tank on the pumping station at Bandurla, and you should just about pick up the whole of the valley from there, but you know, I guess the technicians know the best location, and this seems to be the one they've identified.
Calls for council to research a possible better site, while council will hold an on-site meeting over the problems. Colin Duffy, Win News.
Early morning commuters braving the rain and cold have been asked to spare a thought and $1 for those who are not so fortunate to have a warm winter coat or even a home. Volunteers from the Smith family distributed newspapers at train stations today, detailing the importance of education for all children as the key to avoiding a life of hardship.
Well, as you know, it's precious. This is precious commodity, and if we can endeavour to keep these children in school.
The campaign, Stop a Life of Hardship Before It's Too Late, hopes to raise $60,000 to help needy Australians get through the winter months. While the property market continues to grow, disturbing news tonight about the thousands of people taking out home loans. A new survey shows there is widespread confusion about just how much a home loan will cost.
Just last week, it was shown housing affordability outside Sydney is down 24%. Now, an ANZ Newspoll survey reveals 1 in 3 people with a home loan has no idea just how much it will cost them.
Given that the majority of population actually own a home, this obviously causes a major concern, as there is a lot of confusion about the cost of borrowing.
The confusion is being put down to extra fees and charges not captured in the advertised loan rate.
We've known for some time through our research that customers are dissatisfied and confused about home borrowing.
The survey also revealing many Australians are limiting their options when it comes to home loans. The vast majority considering between only 1 to 3 home loan options of the 3,000 available in Australia. The ANZ hoping to reduce the confusion, launching its comparison rate calculator, which allows customers to calculate the cost of any loan, ANZ or otherwise, online.
This will simplify it by having an all-in-one rate for our customers so that they can get the real cost of borrowings.
The calculator can be accessed at anz.com. Sean Burns, Win News.
An internationally acclaimed exhibition featuring the faces of those most affected by war is on display in Wollongong. 58 black and white photographs taken by photojournalist Takashi Morizumi depict the devastation of the 1991 Gulf War and promote the need for world peace. The photographs are on display in the foyer of the Wollongong City Council building until May 29. The City of Innovation is encouraging innovative young people to get involved in designing society. A competition encourages creativity and rewards primary school students for innovative ideas in health, science and environment. The Kids Involved in Designing Society program is supported by Illawarra Health, Future World and the University of Wollongong. 10 finalists from each category will gather in late June, at which awards will be announced and presented. On the stock market, the All Ords finished 9 points lower today. BHP Steel was up 1 cent to 3.32. BHP Billiton down 15 to 8.61. AMP continues its downward slide, 14 cents off to 5.07. Telstra down 4 to 4.28, and the unlisted IMB put on 2 to close at $2.89. Sport now with Matt Russell and Lance Thompson out to prove a point, Matt.
Geoff, he wants a State of Origin bench position. Also another win for Michael Lowe and a hockey coup for the Illawarra. Port Kembla surfer Michael Lowe is through to round 4 of the Billabong Pro in Tahiti. He downed Pat O'Connell today and will face Bo Emerton tomorrow. Lowe surfed the contest's first perfect 10 earlier in the week, but was today joined by 2 others. World champion Andy Irons produced a perfect 10 on his way to beating Hira Terentufa. A short time later, Nathan Hedge also landed maximum points in his heat win against Shea Lopez. 6 Dragons are preparing for a tough test this weekend. The city country selections will have less than 24 hours between the representative game and their club clash with the Bulldogs.
Lining up for City for just the second time, Lance Thompson is hoping it won't be his last representative jumper, treating Friday night's game as a genuine State of Origin selection trial.
I got a chance, mate, to come off the bench and make a big impact, mate, and I suppose the selectors might be looking for someone like that.
Snubbed for the Blues 30-man Origin squad, Mark Gasnier has similar thoughts.
Obviously I have no idea what's going on there, but all you can do is play good footy. That's the best way you can put your argument forward, so see what happens.
Thompson and Gasnier faced the strange situation of playing against 4 Dragons clubmates on Friday, including Man Mountain Jason Riles.
I just try my best to tackle him.
While Friday night's the immediate priority, the Dragons have one eye on Saturday, and the 22 hours they'll have to prepare for a rugged rematch with the Bulldogs, having beaten them a month ago.
So that's going to be another tough one, so mate, it's going to be a hard weekend, but I'm sure I can get through it.
The Dragons can take comfort. The Bulldogs are in a similar boat.
You know, I think the Bulldogs have got 5 representing. We've got 6. We're both on 10 points, and we both need a win. So, you know, it's going to be desperation stuff Friday night and Saturday night.
Jane Azzopardi, Win News.
Meantime, Wollongong's Big Wet will not threaten Saturday's National Rugby League showdown between the Dragons and Bulldogs. Since the rain started on Monday, more than 150 millimetres has been soaked up by WIN Stadium's new state-of-the-art playing surface.
We've got a Strathair system. It's a sand base and the drainage lines are every 6 metres. Should take the rain away.
Even if it keeps raining until the weekend, as predicted, groundsman Mick Barsby will allow the Dragons to use WIN Stadium for training on Friday and 3 games on Saturday, but on grass a bit longer than usual.
Yeah, getting the mower on at this stage looks pretty unlikely, but you never know. Might get on there.
The biggest event in Illawarra hockey history has been confirmed for next month. World heavyweights Australia, India and Pakistan will play a round of their International Men's Hockey Challenge at Unanderra on June 4. Wayne Billett's day job is running the Dapto Greyhounds. His passion is hockey, and as president of the Illawarra Association, the coups don't come bigger than these internationals, held in a regional centre for the first time.
It is a first, and we're very proud of that. Traditionally, these events are held in capital cities, and we've been lucky through New South Wales Hockey that we've staged many tournaments, and they've given us the green light to go ahead with this.
Illawarra's Unanderra complex hosted Korea, Spain and South Africa for pre-Olympic training. There have also been National Hockey League games involving New South Wales, Victoria and South Australia. Nothing has compared to next month's internationals. Australia ranked #1 in the world, Pakistan 4 and India 6. A crowd of 3,000 plus is expected.
We've worked very hard on spending a lot of money in our facility, so we're hoping that if we can do it right this time, we'll get other opportunities.
In the Illawarra men's competition, goals to Hayden Govers and Glenn Jones have helped Uni beat Fairy Meadow 2-1. Albion Park enjoyed an 8-4 romp against an understrength Dapto. West's too good for Kiama 3-1. In this women's game, Fairy Meadow and Wests couldn't find the goal and finished 0-0. Dapto moved closer to Wests with a 3-1 win against Avondale. Lakeview and Uni also winning. The Bulli Greyhound Club is building for its second richest race tonight, the Gold Cup. Despite the ominous clouds and consistent rain today, officials maintain the track will be fast.
Yeah, it'll be probably faster than it was last week. So a bit of luck, the dogs fly, we'll get a record.
Signs of water damage are superficial, with the track still firm and scraped this afternoon. The fastest heat winner last week, Debbie White's Kiama Downs dog, Yellow Storm, has failed to take favouritism.
He went 26.41, but he's a very iffy beginner. Last week he began, and it's the first time, and when the trainer came back to the presentation, she was amazed at the time he ran.
Undefeated runners Thread Prince and Bucks Double are rated as the top contenders tonight. The Illawarra Netball Association has given life membership to its first male, Norm Rogers. His wife June has also been given the same honour, the pair boasting 50 years service between them. Meantime, a much-needed win for the Corrimal Challengers in the latest round. After a slow start to the season, Corrimal wanted a win against Woonona. The Challengers led 11-8 after the first quarter and scooted ahead by 10 at half-time. The gap was 11 at the final break, Corrimal cruising home 42-28. Christy McDonald led Corrimal scoring with 32 from 48. Carmen Skidmore making 10 of 23. The winners enjoyed 72 shots at goal, Woonona only 49. It was a good week for Corrimal teams, the Cadets rolling Wests, while Shell Harbour had a tight result against the winless Kiama. In State League 2, narrow losses for Illawarra. Division 2 against Randwick, Division 5 down to Campbelltown. Campbelltown also claimed Shoalhaven in Southern Interdistrict, while Wallandilly was too good for Illawarra. In Illawarra baseball, Kiama has gone close to upsetting the undefeated Berkeley Eagles. It lost a 5-2 lead as the Eagles flew home 9-5. In other games, Dapto dominated Western Suburbs. The Cardinals tried to get off the ground several times but couldn't post a run. In the 7th, the 10-run mercy rule was applied with the Chiefs up 13-0. Elsewhere, the Bulli Pirates and the Dapto Panthers played out the first draw of the season. The Pirates trailed in the 5th 5-2 before they levelled in the 8th. Neither side could find a winner in the 9th and final dig. And Geoff, that's our sport.
Thanks, Matt. The weather is next, then something for us. Speaking in tongues at the IPAC. No shortage of rain today and more on the way. Let's have a look at the satellite photo. The whole state is cloud-bound tonight due to an upper air level disturbance and a trough sitting over the west, plus the high over the Tasman is pushing moist easterly winds our way. Tomorrow, that high will slowly drift towards New Zealand, allowing the inland disturbances to push east, while isolated showers continue near the trough. Friday, a low is expected to develop off the coast and a cold front will push across the bight. Rainfall, Wollongong was the best in the state today with 150 millimetres, ranging down to Nowra with 54. Today's temperatures and Barrel hit 14 degrees, everywhere else 17 or 18 degrees, including Bega and Merimbula. The forecast for the Illawarra and the Highlands, rain periods and isolated thunderstorms, a cool to mild day with moderate to fresh east to northeasterly winds. Looking ahead, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all wet. For the south coast, rain periods, the chance of thunderstorms, cool to mild and moderate to fresh northeasterly winds. On the water, seas running at 1.5 to 2.5 metres on a 1.5 to 2 metre swell. First tide tomorrow is a low at 1:48. Temperature-wise, Wollongong reaching for 19 degrees, Barrel for 15, 18 degrees for Nowra, Bateman's Bay and Bega. Theatre that inspired film is set to get tongues wagging when it debuts on the Illawarra stage tonight.
Lights are dim, the music romantic, eyes are locked, bodies close. Two couples are kissing, but it's not their respective partners. The stage is set for infidelity and betrayal as the production Speaking in Tongues premieres in Wollongong.
It's been a long time since I've been with another man. You see, I'm married.
I know. So am I.
Happily married.
Exploring relationships, marriage and adultery, the play's been so successful it inspired the award-winning film Lantana.
For people that have seen the film, they'll get remnants of the film in this, and it's also a new experience as well. It'd be interesting if you've seen the film to come and see the play that it's based on.
Complex storytelling keeping the audience guessing all the way.
And what's nice about the play is that it actually stays in front of the audience. A lot of plays, as an audience member, you go, oh, I know what's going to happen next, and you get a bit bored with it. But with this one, you don't. You're not quite sure where it's going to lead you.
Speaking in Tongues plays at the Illawarra Performing Arts Centre for 2 nights only. Peter Andrea, Win News.
And that is the news from across the region for this Wednesday night. I'm Geoff Phillips from the Win News team. Good night.
This has been a Win News presentation from Australia's largest regional television network.